I split up with my partner of 7 years last night. It's final. We had only split up once before, and that was 5 years ago for 2 weeks. I'm 42, and this has been my longest and dearest relationship. I loved him more than words can express and gave up absolutely everything for him. Career, stability, and all my money. His life pattern since he was in his early 20s was saving up and overlanding for years. I have always loved traveling, albeit not for years at a time, and was hoping we could do his next trip, the Americas, together. He only suggested that we travel together after we split up the first time, 5 years ago. His proposal was that I buy a van, we camperize it, I paid most of that, and he brings along his motorbike. We worked non-stop on this project for nearly 4 years, and we did very little else. I kept feeling there was nothing else to the relationship, but kept telling myself that once we set off, things would be fine. His treatment of me was gradually deteriorating, and I was begging him to show me he still loves me, which he didn't. He is a very complex person, and there are many aspects that I really admire and love about him, and many others that are abusive. Eventually, we set off last summer, and ever since the first day I would get told off about anything imaginable, while also doing all the driving, cooking, cleaning, shopping, etc. He was in charge of the navigation, fixing things when breaking down, and non-stop posting on social media promoting the trip. We don't make any money out of it, it's just to keep his fan base. It never felt like a proper trip, to be honest, and I didn't feel like his partner anymore, but like his assistant. Throughout the 10 months we've been traveling, he's been getting more abusive, not physically. He only talks to me to ask me to do things, and to tell me off for anything one can and cannot imagine, to insult me and never apologizes about a thing. My mental health has been deteriorating, and since he's not the conversation type, I wrote him a strong email expressing my feelings and asking him to change his abusive behavior pattern, because I could not take it anymore. He was quite nonchalant about it, and in theory, we made up. A week later, he started his old ways again. This time I was ready to leave, which I've been thinking about for months. I decided not to talk to him until I had calmed down a little, and eventually, 3 days later, he asked that we make plans, and it turns out we both wanted to end the together part of the trip. He preferred to drop me rather than to change his behavior. I know this is probably for the best, but this is the most heartbroken I have ever been, and it's so difficult to put my pieces back together. I have nothing left, and will have to start again from zero. What would you advise me?